unless you're eating a 100% wild food based diet and you're consuming over 300 different types of foods over the course of a year, you need some level of supplementation in the forms of herbs, superfoods, or whole food supplements to make sure you're getting all the medicinal compounds as well as nutrients that you can't get from just eating whole foods. Hello Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers, this is Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com. So this is a video response to my last video, just because there's some things that I think a lot of people are either misunderstanding or they're just coming from a completely crazy frame of view in terms of understanding health in general. There's a lot of comments about people mentioning or thinking that I take a lot of supplements and pills, and I just wanted to highlight the fact that I don't. Again, I was making it pretty clear in the video, so either you weren't listening, you didn't watch the whole thing, or you just see something and you react without actually logically thinking through what is going on in the video. So pretty much the only thing I do take that could be considered a supplement would be vitamin D3. And that was actually sitting in the cupboard next to the herbs. I didn't actually open that one just because that was the only thing in there. I actually forgot about it. But the fact that I take about 4 or 5 things that could be considered additions to foods per day doesn't mean I'm overloading on supplements. And first of all, using the term supplements is a difficult thing to do, because a supplement, in my view, even though I do sometimes call something a supplement because you're adding it on to your diet, but the real understanding of the term supplement in terms of how I'm trying to describe this is it is a isolated synthetic nutrient. So that's going to be like vitamin D3, that's isolated. It's not necessarily synthetic, so it's actually from a source that's not a chemical or is what's known as organic. It's not an inorganic compound like a rock, a mineral, or anything that's not from a living thing. So if we understand that, we can understand that, you know, there's situations where vitamin D3 can be taken, and when it's taken with food, it's definitely beneficial. Now, the cod liver oil, that's a food. Butter oil, that's a food. E3 Live, that's a food. Even Health Canada considers it a food. Yes, they could be called supplements because you're taking a small portion of them. But really, people, you need to get out of this frame of mind to thinking that taking something like this is harmful. Like, where's the science on that? I constantly wonder this when there's so many people out there that are against this kind of additions to a diet to make sure you're getting everything, and people are against it. There are studies out there that show the dangers of taking isolated synthetic supplements. So that's going to be, you know, the isolated antioxidants, the isolated vitamin E, any of those things that you get from those bottles that are in capsules or pills. And just because something's in a bottle or capsule doesn't mean it's a bad thing either. So again, there are some herbs I take, and I actually break the capsules open into drinks, and I have some herbs that are in the powdered form from Hyperion Herbs as well. And if we were to compare it to getting the fresh herb from the wild, if it happened to grow in the area where you lived, the difference in its effects, yes, the wild's the absolute best thing you can consume, but the difference in effect is pretty minimal. Again, if you had the option of the wild, whole, fresh herb versus the extract, go for the wild thing that's fresh and whole. You're still going to have to process it in some way to consume it, so if it was a leafy herb, you're going to have to make a tea out of it, but yes, it's better if the leaves are picked fresh than if they're dried and already extracted into capsules. You're really talking about a 3 to 5% difference in its potential effects. So really, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say because something's been processed, we shouldn't be consuming it. Check out this video here if you want to learn more about why processed foods can be healthy. And this is just basically getting into looking at the level at which we process foods. So yes, Chef Boyardee in a can with tons of sodium, like 3 days worth of your sodium intake in one can, is not going to be healthy for you. But taking a whole food and preparing it in a way that makes it easily digestible is what humans have evolved to do. That's why our digestive systems have shrunk so much, and our teeth and jaw structure has shrunk, and that's allowed our brains to get bigger. So the fact that this is going on really shows us that, you know, it's okay to take things and make them more usable by the body. And the convenience of supplements in the forms of herbs, whole food supplements, or even superfoods that are additions to the diet just help to make sure that you're getting everything you need. So anyone that's critical of the fact that I would take vitamin D3, cod liver oil, fermented cod liver oil, or any of these other things that you saw in that video, please show me the evidence showing that this is not good for you. Someone else brought up the fact that our ancestors didn't take these things. Well, again, if you look at chimpanzees in the wild, they know over 300 different herbs that they can identify that they use medicinally. If a chimpanzee has parasites, there's herbs they go to eat to get rid of the parasites. If they have something else going on, they know to take, you know, the wild ginger root, to take that for whatever ails them. So to think you're just going to get by on whole foods on their own with no supplementation is ludicrous. It's not paying attention to the fact that foods that are hybridized, first of all, aren't as rich in compounds that are medicinal and tonifying to the body. Yes, you can get complete nutrition from a wide variety of foods, and I'm not saying you would take these things to replace whole foods. But let's just use a little bit of reason, logical thinking, and see this for what it really is. The I don't want to say supplement, because again that word gets thrown around and confused and used with different definitions. But the crowd of health enthusiasts that are anti anything in the diet that's not, you know, whole food picked from 10 minutes ago is delusional, not based in science, and is an idyllic type mentality that is, you know, probably looking to the Bible for some example of Adam and Eve thinking, you know, we can just eat these things off the trees and be fine. You're not going to have good health that way. You have to look at your blood work, see what you're deficient in, look at the benefits of certain compounds for long-term sustainable health that also have anti-aging effects. So that's why I take things like colostrum. Down the road I might take something like TA65 once I'm 40. Might at some point take resveratrol. There's benefits to these things that are proven by science. So again, let's start moving towards scientific thinking and less of this primitive ideological thinking that is so prevalent among so people. I just want to make this video to really hammer this home, people, because it's ridiculous when I see these comments. It's really petty and just shows me that people need a lot of education around this. They're not thinking about this very critically, and I think that's very dangerous for your health. So with that, check out the links below. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter, Facebook page here. With that, take care and embrace life without limits.